listeners. Welcome to the very first episode of Plano's Political Pitbull podcast for 2025. Happy New Year, everybody. I am Esther.
And I'm Ruth.
And today we are going to cover Plano's street bonds and the race for the Texas House Speaker. We hope everyone had a good holiday. We took some time off, and we are back. So, street bonds. All right, this is the last presentation that was made of the bond package. The council members will vote on what actually goes into the bond proposals that we will be voting on in May this month. So, some things that you need to know. They are asking for $342,280,000 in total for the package. There is a very long list of streets that need repairs that will be a part of this package, and it is too long to go over. And so I will put it on the website, planospoliticalpitbull.com, for you to look at yourself. Basically, what was said was 50% of our streets are over 30 years old. And the way our streets are, that's old for streets. For the 2025 bond estimates for the arterial overlay process, they are asking for $3.45 million per mile average. They're budgeting for 38 miles. And as I said, they're asking for a lot of money. Now, interestingly, Councilman Williams, he took the liberty to once again say that he would not like to issue bonds to maintain our roads, as bonds is debt, and we have to pay interest on that debt. A lot of interest.
Yeah, isn't one of their main jobs about maintaining roads? So shouldn't that already be in the budget?
You would think so. So this is what he said, quote, "We need to be maintaining our roads under the maintenance and operations part of the property taxes."
Exactly.
It's baked, he said, quote, "It is baked right in to the word." Okay? And the budget session for this is currently in the 2024. We're spending $25 million a year alone on the interest for the bonds. So $25 million extra dollars is being spent on our debt, on the interest. And what he's saying is that's basically crazy. Not in that word. He didn't use that word. That's my word. Okay. So he feels that it needs to be in the maintenance and operations side. Over the next budgets, he would like to have this shift where we're going from the roads being on the bond side or the debt side of the property tax ledger to the maintenance and operations side of the property taxes column. This way they can save $25 million in the debt and then repurpose it to probably put it back into the roads that will need repair. Because the roads here take a beating. I don't know if it's the material they use. I don't I don't know if it's the just that there's so many people driving on the roads, if it's the weather, but I personally have never seen quite anything like it. They fix a road, and then it seems like they're couple of years later, not too long after they fix it, they're fixing it again.
They like to prefix it. Just, there's a tiny little crack right there. We gotta fix that.
Well, I will say, if you fix the tiny little crack, it's cheaper to fix the tiny little crack than the great big hole. Okay?
True.
So I will say that. You know, bigger hole, bigger cost. Tiny hole, smaller cost. All right.
It just feels like they're constantly doing construction on the road. Like it doesn't ever end.
No, as I'm saying, Plano will be nice when they finish it. If they ever finish it. Okay. Next, we have the Texas speaker race. So tomorrow, Tuesday, January 14th, 2024, the Texas legislature will vote on their speaker. Very similar to how the Congress picks their speaker, okay, of the House. And unfortunately, there is already some infighting on who will be the next speaker. It can never be simple, right? No, it just can't. So basically, just like with the Congress, the majority of the person who gets the votes wins the speakership. Now, the Texas House is majority Republican, so one would think that there would be a Republican speaker. Okay?
Uh-huh.
And the Republicans will put up a nominee and the Democrats will put up a nominee that will have basically zero chance. I just wonder why they even bother, but okay. So the way the Texas House picks their speaker, they need the magic number. Their majority is 76 out of 150. Okay? So the person who gets 76 plus votes wins. Now, Representative Candy Noble, she sent out a very educational email on the process. And I'll put the whole letter up on the website, planospoliticalpitbull.com, for everyone to read in full. I'm just going to read some snippets of the letter. So right now there are two GOP candidates for speaker, David Cook and Dustin Burrows. According to Ms. Noble, both are excellent choices, right? Both are friends of hers. One is her desk mate, and the other one is she served on a committee with. She likes them both, okay?
I'm hearing a but.
I don't think there's a but to other people. I mean, other people will like one over the other for whatever reason. Instead of this floor fight that can happen and chaos ensue, the Republicans had a rule that they were going to meet in a caucus meeting and kind of have like a mini primary, their own little speaker primary, shall we say. And whoever won that was to get all the votes for the speaker when the time came to actually vote on the floor when you had a Democrat opponent. Very similar to how we do elections here, okay? So the Republican House Caucus met on December 7th, and according to Ms. Noble, all 88 Republican House members were present to begin with. Now, if you only need, what was the magic number?
76?
76, you would figure you got 88. That's a pretty good margin, okay? That they could get somebody over the finish line, right? So all 88 were present at the meeting. The caucus chairman was Tom Oliverson, who was not going to run for speaker and, according to Miss Noble, was very neutral. And he tried to do his best to do everything by the book, this is her words. So, according to Ms. Noble, now it got complicated. So, caucus began, and in the first 3 rounds of voting, a candidate needed at least 2/3 of the membership, that'd be 59 votes, to receive enough support for the caucus nomination, or the primary nomination. Okay? Well, the rules changed after the 3 rounds, from 3/5 or 50 to 53. So we went from 40 to 59, now we're down to 53.
Because it was taking too long. They're like, we've been here all day.
We've been here 3 rounds. We need to move this along, folks. So 53 now was the magic number to secure the nomination. Now keep in mind that neither 50 nor 53 is enough for anyone to be elected speaker. Very true, Ms. Noble. They need 76 House members to be elected and get the speaker's seat. So the first round of voting went to Representative David Cook, who got 48. Not enough. And Dustin Burrows got 40. So nowhere near the 59 you needed. Second round was 47 to 41. David Cook, the winner there. Not a heck of a lot of progress. Actually, we're going the wrong direction. So apparently now it got ugly.
They're tired. They're frustrated. Yeah. Now we're going to fight.
Right. Now it got ugly. So according to Miss Noble, one member asked for a 10-minute break for everyone to kind of get together, talk amongst themselves. And, let's face it, that's kind of what they do on the House floor. They take a minute, work through some stuff, try to find a solution to make things better, right? Well, some of the members said, no, I object to this 10-minute break session. They wanted to go straight into the third round of voting. So the chairman decided to have the members vote on the question of taking a 10-minute break. Fair. Waste of time, but fair. The division of the room on this suggested vote made the room appear even more hostile. This is when a good number of members got up and walked out. Yeah. According to Ms. Noble, she says, it is my understanding that they felt the process was too flawed to be fair. She, like the good representative she is, stayed in the caucus meeting, hoping that they would all come back and they would be able to choose a candidate with all 88 people voting. Apparently that didn't happen. So now the Republican House caucus rules allow for a simple majority to continue to conduct business. So even if you leave, you don't have to close the meeting. They can still continue as long as there is a majority of people in the room. But now the number is going to change.
Yeah, what did they think they were accomplishing by leaving?
I have no idea. I don't know. I mean, they had to know that the number for the quorum to hold the meeting was going to change. Now they only had 62 of the 88.
This plan isn't working.
Mm-hmm. So 62 members stayed. Okay.
Like, originally this was in order to unify everybody towards one candidate. It's not working.
No, not working at all here.
We're hurting cats, people.
Yeah. Well, that is...
Not even cats. We're hurting rats.
okay, well, rats kind of,
They're harder to herd than cats.
Yes. Well, I will say some people claim, and this is just some people, say that Democrats are like sheep, okay? The leader of their party, whoever it is, they say, we're going to do this, and they go and do it. And the Republicans are like cats or rats, depending on your preference of animal.
A pet.
And the leader of their party tells them to do something, and they immediately go, oh, no, we won't.
I'm going to go over here.
Yeah. Whether it's 62 in the room or 88, they still need 76 people on the House floor to get the speaker they want.
How many of a majority do they need now in this caucus?
In the room, let's see. So she doesn't say. It's just a majority.
Well, it's going to be less than 76.
Yeah, well, I'll find out in a minute. So the 62 did vote again. And David Cook got 48 this time, and Dustin Burrows got 14. Clear majority there.
Woo,
okay?
Finally, we're not so close.
Okay. Well, we call that a landslide. But because the present and voting number was lower, they needed only 37. Again, he won, clearly. So 37 was the majority, or actually 3/5, excuse me. They needed 3/5. He got it. Whether it's a majority or 3/5, he got it, okay? So 26 Republican House members were not even there to vote. They left. They were gone. Perhaps if they had stayed, they could have worked this out.
Oh,
but alas, David Cook was the winner, okay? And with, the people who were voting. So Ms. Noble, she made a promise when she was running that she would support whoever got the most votes in the caucus. And she is a person of her word. And so she's going to support David Cook for Speaker. And she's proud to support her desk mate. She shares a desk with him.
Something I don't understand about Republicans and the infighting with these types of things is you all have a set of goals and ideologies that you all share. So what's the difference of who you pick?
Well, that is a good question. They have not been happy with the past speakers. I don't know why. I believe that if a bill gets out of committee, passes the committee, goes on to, it goes on, I think, to the Rules Committee, and then it goes to calendars. The last stop before the floor is calendars. This is where it's placed on the calendar. And this is done by the committee. It is not done by the speaker. Whereas in the House of Representatives over in Washington, D.C., that's done by the speaker. The speaker controls that. In the Senate, the lieutenant governor controls that. So I would think that if the calendars committee has placed something on the calendar, the speaker should has to put it to the floor. Now, they do run out of time sometimes, but they run out of time because the Democrats, they make all these points of order. So they're running the clock because they have to finish their session, okay, their time when they're there, by a specific date in May. So it's like I think it's right before Memorial Day. So they're not there all year like Congress is. They're only there every odd year, only for 5 months. And a good chunk of that time is done in committee and writing the bill and getting the bill through committee. But it could take, to get to the floor, you're doing a lot of votes usually in April and May. So I don't know what the big deal is on who the speaker is. If you've got the Republican up there, other than, I will say, the speaker, he picks the committee chairs, and the base does not want any Democrat chairs. That confused me, how you could pick a Democrat to chair a committee. I mean, in Washington, they don't do that. They have, if the Republicans have a majority, a Republican is chairing the committee and a Democrat is a vice chair. It's not how it works here. And one of the reasons is not a lot of people want to be committee chairs. It's a lot of work, not a lot of extra money, and not a very large budget, apparently. So that's part of the problem. So, but both candidates have said, well, we're not going to be picking Democrats for committee chairs. So that should be a non-issue. Well, remember she said it got ugly? Well, it got uglier. So she says, outrageous and even evil methods have been brought to bear on some of the members supporting Dustin Burrows in the race.
What?
Mm-hmm. Horrible accusations, publishing and mass texts with the members' cell phone numbers, mailers from our Republican state party, and of all things, and threats have been leveled at them, all for supporting a conservative Republican for Speaker. In my opinion, this is shameful and certainly not the Republican way of doing things, and I agree. So, if members who supported Dustin Burrows, they're getting accusations lobbied against them, they're getting apparently putting out mailers against them, they're getting publishing and mass texts with the members' cell phone numbers. So people are sending out, I believe this is called doxing and is illegal, but they're sending out the cell phone numbers of the members to, I guess, their call lists. And I guess they figure, well, the people, if the voters want a specific speaker, they'll contact them. It's not nice, guys, not nice. We should all pause and ask ourselves, who is paying for this vitriol and why? That's Candy Noble talking, but I agree with her. This is terrible.
I don't understand why. What are you fighting over?
It's not clear. It's like they're fighting over if I can make the apples and oranges, analogy, the Democrats, the orange, and their Republicans are fighting over a gala apple and a red delicious apple. They're both apples.
Both apples and they're both red.
Exactly.
What's the difference?
Miss Representative Noble asks that we pray for them, and hopefully they will sort this all out before they vote tomorrow.
I feel like this is what happens when, because I feel like this is what happens when parties get too big, because like you kind of see this with the Democrat Party too. They're just better at hiding it.
Yes, they like to keep their stuff behind closed doors.
Yeah, they like to keep their drama under wraps, but they have drama too.
Yes.
I think it's a result of, you could say it's because of the flawed two-party system, but the parties are too big, and so you have too many, like, you have like the extremists, and then you have the moderates, and then you have like centrists.
Yeah, you've got everything, all ranges in between.
But everyone's put into
a box.
One box or the other box, when that's not really how we work.
Yeah. And the parties change. The party of Kennedy, okay, doesn't exist anymore. They're still called Democrats, but I'm sorry, that party is gone, okay?
Kennedy would kind of be considered a Republican now.
Maybe. I mean, he cut taxes, he cut regulations, he was strong on defense, strong on battling communism. Yeah. That checks the Republican boxes. Anyway, they do change, and it's
so then you have
more difficult to navigate.
So then you have the old Democrats and Republicans, and then you have the newer ones who are completely different.
Yeah. I mean,
but they're all forced to be in the same box.
Yeah.
So then you have these fights breaking out and divisions in the parties.
And then you have the purist, battles. Well, you are not really a Republican. Well, you are not really a Democrat. You are not a conservative. You are not liberal enough. You're not a progressive. I mean, it's very, very contentious. It's become very, very contentious. Speaker race turning into a huge mess. All right. Now, one thing that Representative Noble was speaking about was that you have leaders of the party getting involved who can't even vote for speaker. You've got Attorney General Paxton, the governor, the lieutenant governor, all chiming in on who should be speaker. You've got Ken Paxton going around the state campaigning, going to county parties saying that, we should come out and we should support he's talking to obviously Republicans. We need to all support Cook, I think. You even have the chairman of the state Republican Party, Abraham George, and the county parties all speaking on this and all supporting, saying we must get Cook in there. And
why? Because the other guy's so bad? What's so different about him?
I don't think so.
I still don't understand what they're fighting about.
He's considered, Dustin Burrows, to my knowledge, when they're in session and I follow these folks, he's very conservative.
So what's their problem with him?
I don't know. It's not been clear what the problem is.
So we're just watching a cat fight without knowing what started it.
Pretty much, yes. That's the way I feel. I've tried to see what the issue is. Either is one just more conservative than the other? I mean, does one want a certain rule maybe you got to be behind the scenes a little more. I don't know. But they are going to county parties. County parties are now fighting amongst themselves with the precinct chairs, trying to get out resolutions to support one candidate over the other. Lincoln said, "A house divided shall not stand." And this is just becoming more contentious, more divisive. My opinion, stay out of it. If you personally are, you're a voter, you want your member to vote a certain way on this speaker race, call them up, email them, and tell them privately. But the public endorsements, the infighting that this is creating, not a good look. Not a good look. The Democrats are going to come out. They're going to be behind one person, all right? And they're going to look like they've got their acts together. They got their stuff together. And they're going to put up a guy or a gal, and they're all going to vote in unison, unanimously.
Well, everyone kind of expects that.
Whereas somehow you've got to get a Republican speaker or a Republican candidate has to go and has to lobby, and sometimes they'll even go and try to lobby some Democrats. In the past, some Democrats have voted for one Republican over another. But I have a feeling that they're going to come out and they're going to do what they typically do in Washington, and they're going to come out and they're going to support one Democrat.
We've seen not this bad. Like this is on a new level, but this is now like the third time, specifically on the Republican side. It's always the Republican side. The Democrats always have their act together with this. It's always the Republicans, where you have people where you have the fighting and the holdouts. 3 times. This is the third time. The other 2 with Washington, with Senate and then House.
Well,
why?
Well, actually, the Senate this year, the Republicans in the Senate, they...
Well, I was referring to the 2023 thing.
Oh, yeah, okay. No, now the Senate is a little different because they don't actually have a speaker. They have a majority leader and a minority leader. And I think that's just a straight vote within their own caucuses. So it's whoever wins that. Because the president of the Senate is the vice president of the United States. Okay?
Am I thinking of something else?
You're probably thinking of the House Speaker race for U.S. House. Last go-around. And this past go-around, too. And they were both very contentious. And this is going to be contentious tomorrow. So you can watch the festivities online at the Texas House website. Just Google that. I don't have it off the top of my head here. Okay. But, so it could be very entertaining.
Or boring.
I would go entertaining.
Well, it depends on how good the fighting is. But usually it's like really, it's not what you actually think it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, there's not going to be a bar brawl on there. I mean, let's face it, But it will definitely be interesting. I think
they're just going to be annoying.
I don't know. You'd think they need 76. There's 88 Republicans. You think it'd be you could get a simple majority.
You'd think that.
Mm-hmm. And it's not, I mean, the House was close, in Washington was closer. There was only one vote difference. So that was harder. Or 2 or 3 votes.
No, there were 3 holdouts that they were able to get 2 to switch over.
Right. And one of those holdouts was, well, he was not, it is a Plano congressman, Keith Self. But he was able, I don't know what deal was made to get him to switch his vote. My I don't know why he didn't vote for Johnson, Speaker Johnson, to begin with. I think, if memory serves, it had to do with finances. It had to do with all the money that we're spending. Not quite sure what was said to him to make him change his mind, but hopefully he got whatever it is he was wanting, to rein in the spending, at least, to try. Well, that is going to be it for us today. If you have enjoyed this program, please like, share, and subscribe to us. This is Esther.
And this is Ruth.
For Plano's Political Pitbull Podcast, signing off.